Hey, welcome back. This is Power Solutions Forestry. My name's Bill. In our ongoing effort to test out Norwood stuff, we are going to be testing the changes that we made to the new roller guide system today. And also, I want to test some of the stellite bands. However, we have to cut a job for a customer. It's 10 1 by 5.5, 3/4 of an inch thick for deck flooring for an enclosed farmer's porch down here on Cape Cod. He has his joist spacing 24 inches apart, and he has fur on it, and he says it's a little springy. So he's replacing a section that's bad. I suggested going with red oak because I have a mile of it and nobody asked me for it. So we're going to cut red oak. And it's 10 boards for now, and then 50 to replace the whole thing down the road. This log has metal in it. So what I've done is, instead of putting on the stellite band that I just sharpened on video, in case you guys haven't watched that, go back and watch it. I sharpened up a couple of Turbo 7s as well. And I'm going to be running one of those Turbo 7s on this. I've wanded part of the log. First of all, I've wanded the top where I'm cutting right now, and I get no metal targets. I did find a couple metal targets in the bottom. I don't know if you can see on the log. You can see the dark spot down the bottom. I put it facing the bottom. I've dug in there a little bit with a hatchet, and I did not find the metal. So I've got three options. Number one, I can cut through it. Just guessing that it's a fairly big log. The metal is grown inside the tree at this point, so I'm going to guess that it's nails and not screws, because I've dug in pretty deep. At that point, the band really should go right through two nails and not do a lot of damage. However, I am going to give it the college try. So my second option, actually I have four options, but my second option is to avoid that area, not cut it, and then try to take a 5-inch cant out of it. So cut the three sides and take a 5-inch cant out of the top of that log, 5.5 inch, going this way for the long way, and 5.5 like this above that area, and then just shitting that whole thing and not even getting close to it. Number three, I can cut in around it with the chainsaw. And what I did was, instead of using my 372 with the 25 on it with a real good sharp chain, brought out my wife's MS-180C, because the chain hit metal already and it's already dinged up pretty bad. So I've already got to grind this chain or file the shit out of it. So I can use that, cut it on both sides, and take a real big chunk out, see if I can locate the metal, and then take it out that way. And then the fourth option is just to not cut the log at all and throw it in the firewood pile. So I want to make some money out of this log. The Turbo 7 that I have on there is already cut, a full rotation without hitting anything to dull. So it's already made me money. Now I've sharpened it. I'm kind of on borrowed money on that band. I don't want to wreck a stellite band, but I don't mind wrecking that band. So what we're going to do is, I've got it shimmed up 2 inches. I've got the pith centered. We're going to take the top off this log. We are going to flip it 90 degrees probably, take the side off it, and then probably flip it 180 and take the other side off it. We will see. Either that, or I'm just going to flip it 180 and see if we can deal with getting that metal out. Not sure yet, but you will find out. You'll also get to see a band that was sharpened identical to the stellite band. It was not set. It was sharpened with the chainsaw rock at 7 degrees. You'll get to see that cut. We'll get to test out the new guides and see how everything goes. So this has all the ingredients for being a friggin' disaster. There is another spot And I can't metal detect it right now because it's too close to the mill. But there is another spot right here that have 4 little dots around it. So it's got 4 dots around it. There's a hole in the middle there. There's a possibility that that's metal also. And I'm not sure if when this came in, I didn't yank a chunk of metal out of there. So we're going to test that out. We'll check that out too. And each time that I flip it, I'm going to wand the top. The problem is I can't get close to here or it will pick these up. So I have to wand up here. I can wand the top. Right now I have no targets in the top of this log, so I'm pretty confident that we're good to mill the top. So I have fueled up. I've greased my band wheel bearings, oiled everything. We're all ready to go. And got Danny down there underneath. So we're going to get going. You get to see it. It's a fairly clean log overall. There's a couple of chunks of mud on it, but nothing serious. Keep in mind that you are going to hear the noise canceling on the mic, so don't comment to me that your mill sounds weird. But I'm looking to just open up the top, take a slab cut off. Any flitch cuts that I take will be 3/4 of an inch, so I can edge them off later, kind of like that white oak that I did the other day. And we're going to get at it and see if we can manage through this log without destroying anything. So that's the plan, Stan. And no further ado, we're going to get cutting here. Let's get my tape measure on my hip. This end had to come up 2 inches, so when I do flip it on its side to cut 90 degrees to the cut I'm making right now, I am going to probably have to shim it up again. I'll do that with the Bobcat. So this cut's going to be around 20, I think. We'll try it there. We'll see what it looks like. This log's about 8 foot, probably 6. I need 8-foot boards, and it's to the face cut here. I'm 8'3", so it's a perfect log for this order. Overall, it's probably 8'9", 8'10", and on the big end, somewhere around 24. So it's not light. I've already rolled it myself a little bit, trying to get that on the bottom. I think I can roll it myself. So let's check it out. That 3-in-1 oil seems to be working better on the up and down clutch. Oh, still clamp that. It's not squeaking or making any noise, which is good, I guess. I can stop hearing comments about that. Yeah, so that height looks reasonable. We'll try it right there. Looks like I'm clear on my guides, so let's try it out. For full disclosure on the sharpening, that band, I could not even feel the wood. It cut perfect. I mean, just, I couldn't even feel the wood going through it. Cut perfectly smooth, just absolutely beautiful. So, matter of fact, you know what? We'll come over. I'm going to show you this. Just, we did have some Yahoo comment about my sharpening setup, saying that, questioning why I didn't have an automatic setup. And I want to show you something. I'll show you two things, actually. Number one, that this is not a brand new bed. I took the older of the two Turbo 7s that I sharpened, put that one on. It still had a little bit of buildup on it, so hopefully you can see that this band's been run. I don't know if the light's going to be really good, but you know, this is just a fresh, sharp band. This cut is not just good. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculously smooth. I mean, to where, you know, I don't know what to say, to where you can't see saw marks in it. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. So, you know, that band cut, there's no other word for it. Unbelievable. Like I said, I couldn't even feel the wood going through it. I could have pushed as fast as I wanted. Now, I don't think I want to take another cut off this side because I want to leave as much wood here as I can, because I'd like, if I can, I could like to get my cant out of here. Now, another option would be, to be honest with you, so I need 10 boards at 3/4. So you're losing 1/4 times 10's 2.5. So I need something like like 7.5 inches plus your 1/8. So let's just call it 8.5 to get your 10 boards out of. So here's the deal. If I take one more board, really, just to make it easy on myself, if I took one more board off here, and since it's level right now, if I took one more board off to get myself nice and wide, and I drop down 5.5 and cut it kind of right through the pith, actually be above the pith still, took this chunk out, I could take that chunk off the mill. I could take this log off. I could flip that chunk on its side and I could cut out my whole order. Because right now I have over 10 inches of flat spot here. And then I don't get near any metal. For the sake of you guys watching, let's just go ahead and do that. I'm not saying I won't cut the rest of the log today, but let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to drop down, take a 3/4 board off here, throw it up there with my white oak. Then drop down 5.5. Take a 5.5 chunk off that I'm going to have to take off with the machine. And then I will get the balance of this log off the mill, put my 5.5 chunk up here, set it up on its side, cut a flat spot on it, flip it over, cut it out. My order's done, and I haven't messed the blade. So let's do that. So we're going to drop down 3/4. Should be dropping down to 14 1/8. I mean 19 1/8, I think. Just make sure I was at 20 when I went on. Yeah, it looks like it was right at 20. Looks like it cut in nice and flat. So let's go to 19 1/8. That's 3/4 plus an 8. And we'll take a flitch off. Just got to get some water flowing. Okay. All right, let's take it. Now, the only thing that could really mess me here is if I get to drop down below my guides. That could be a problem. If I have 5.5 above my guides, then I'm good. And all these 3/4 boards up here can be edged off for him up here. You can't see them. Just cut incredible. All right, so let's make sure I got 5.5 there. Yep, no problem. Sure, I got 5.5 here. No problem. I got no problem to my dogs. So 19 and 1/8. 14. 14 is 5. Actually, 14 and 1/8 is 5. And then 5/8 is 5.5. 13.5 should be 5.5 plus the kerf. Let's go ahead and see. We'll make a mark and we'll measure it. Make sure our guides are clear. Looks like we're going to clear. Don't really have a good reference point to measure through here, but looks right. Yeah, that's good right there. I'm just going to go ahead and take that right off, and then at least I know I have my order on a sharp band. All right, so I have to get this off. I wonder if I can pull it. Let's see. Yeah, it's cut so flat. So I'm going to get my forks up here. Let you guys watch. Take this off. And then I'll just set it on top of my wood pile over there, I think. Actually, maybe I'll just come over here. Let me back you way up. Come over here and just stick it right there on my sawhorses. Back you way up over here. And then I'll take the log off, and then we'll grab it, put it back on. This could be a heavy bitch here. Wow, it's beautiful. Medullary rays in this too. Cut beautiful. So I definitely don't want to waste the rest of this log, but we are going to have to be careful with how we cut it. Okay. Wow, it's gorgeous. I'll show you guys this after. It's going to bleach out a little bit in the sun by the time I get to it, but it's absolutely phenomenal. Woo, surfing, surfing. Just leave that running while we do this. I'm going to grab my scraper, show you guys this log. It's absolutely beautiful. I can find my scraper. Oh, the scraper's out. And the band just cut completely flawlessly. And like I said, that's one of those ones that was just face sharpened with the chainsaw rock, not set or anything. Let me just show you this finish on this thing. This thing came out beautiful. This is definitely a log not to waste. Talk about gorgeous. Oh my God. Flat, beautiful, tons of rays in it. Just miles of rays in it. It's all rays. If I watered it down right now, you'd really see it better, but it just came out absolutely phenomenal. Cut it perfect. There's all medullary rays through here, all up the side. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but you can see the little ones. There's huge ones all on this outside and that sapwood on the other side, all down through here. And look at how flat it cut, guys. How smooth. Just unbelievable. So I'm going to get that off the mill. I won't use dirty language here. I want to get that log off the mill and put the other chunk back up there, flip it on its side. And I will get back with you in a second. I'm going to pause you. All right, we got it up there. I got it squared up. I got 17 inches off the bunk to just under that, wane right there. I'll make the cut at 17. I don't think that side's going to matter because I can't cut all the way down to inch anyway. I mean, all the way down to 3/4. I want to show you one thing. One reason why you really need to scrape off oak. If you look at right here, you can see the dark staining. There was some dirt in the bark right here, and that dark staining is the metal that it scraped off the band. Same thing there. It was just a little bit of dirt there, and that's what wore the band. And that metal that came off the band in those areas is what stained that log. and then it did it in the beginning of the cut too, right at the outside, because it's probably dirty. So when you cut oak, you really kind of need to scrape your boards off fairly quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to mill this off at 17 up, take the top off it, flip it over, and then clean up the top, put it on scale at 3/4 and mill that out. 10 boards. Should only take a few minutes here. So, we're tight on our stops. This stop's not square anymore because I bent it up. So we're going to 17, and running that 3-in-1 oil is taking away the squeak completely on this mill. It's a good chunk of firewood here. Yeah, we'll flip it over. It's going to end up being nice straight grain boards. Oh, come on, stop going. It's beautiful medullary raise on this side. It's too bad this whole side's all raised. Let's see if we can get it up high so we don't scarp any of those boards. Oh, come on, don't go off the mill. Don't go off the mill. Yeah, this really couldn't have worked out any better for this log that had metal in it. I'll tell you that right now. Could not have worked out any better. So I got support the whole way. I am going to have to put, I'm going to keep my stops up for a minute till I clean it up, and then I'll put them all the way down to make sure that I end up square. It's kind of rocking a little bit, so there was some tension in this. Yep, it's good. All right, so 14's clear there. 14's just not clear there. 13 3/4, I think we'll take it off at. Might as well do this while I have a good sharp band and get this out of the way, and then we'll deal with that nightmare. Another chunk of firewood. Five and a half wide, perfect. How far down can I go? I can go to 10. I can cut. This one's closer. Might as well just drop them all the way down now. Might as well drop them all the way down now. And I can set my 3/4 scale right where I am. And I won't be able to go all the way down anyway because the last board is, I'm going to set my 3/4 scale off the top. And after I cut 10 of them, I'll figure out what I got kind of left to leave. Okay, so I'll set my 3/4 scale and start peeling 3/4 boards off here. So I have to take off my magnetic scale because I don't have a 3/4 scale on this. I have one on the Norwood scale. We'll try. We'll see how it works. This one starts an inch. So we'll try out the Norwood scale. First time I've ever used the Norwood scale. So that looks good right there. And I'll show you what I mean for those of you who don't understand the lumber scale, which is no shame there. It's not confusing. So I made that cut at 13 3/4, and then I adjusted my 3 scale right there, which is my 3/4 scale, which takes into consideration the kerf to that line, which means I'm scaling off the top. As I drop, I just drop to the next 3 every time, and it takes the 1/8 of an inch kerf into consideration, so it should just give me 3/4 boards if the scale is set up right. So, and it's cutting so nice and smooth and flat right now that we might as well do it. We'll give them good product. Get my scraper out of the way here, and let's start mowing. So we just dropped to the next 3. I could have set it on the big scale too. And we'll just go up and we'll make a quick mark and we'll just make sure that's right. Make sure the scale's right. Yeah, it's perfect. So that's the way to go. 3/4 boards. Each time I tell myself where the next one is and I rise the amount of cuts I just made. So I'm going to go up 1 and the next one is at 12-ish. So drop it down to 12-ish. I can see the 3. Just hit it on the 3 and go. So now I've made 2 cuts. I got to go up 2, and this one's just over 11. 1, 2. Rip it back. Drop it down to 11 and find my 3, which is just above 11, 11 and 8. I got to go up 3 cranks. My next one is at 10 1/4 inch. With it back, drop it straight down to 10 1/4 inch. Find my 3. Oh, I nailed it. Got to go up 4 cranks. My next one is almost just below 9 1/2. 1, 3, 4. 9 1/2. Find my 3. Got to go up 5 cranks. My next one is right around 8 1/2. Drop right to 8 1/2. Find my 3. Watching my band the whole time. Make sure it's tracking perfect. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go up 6 cranks. My next one is just over 7 1/2. Oh, I nailed it again. I still have clearance. I'm going to go up 7 cranks. My next one is about 6 3/4. I'm going to take a couple of down. They've got to be cleaned off. I won't be cutting close to the bottom. These are gorgeous. I'll show them to you after. So let's go ahead. I got to go up 4, and my next drop is just about 5 3/4. It's actually 5 7/8. Okay, got to go up 5, and my next one is right around 5. That's the 10 boards that he needs. I'm going to cut them 12, so I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 6 cranks, and my next cut is right above 4. Just in case the board cracks or something. Alright, 7 cranks up, and my next cut is about 3 1/4. And we'll go ahead and take the scraper to a few of these and show you what we got. They come out great. So I gave them 2 extras. That's just in case a board cracks or something. None of these are pith boards. These are getting painted anyway, so it doesn't matter if they get any black staining on them. But I'll show you what we got. Cut out perfect, nice and flat and smooth. You can see how it cut out demarcation wise. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 4 is 12. Nice straight gearing boards. They cut really nice and smooth. There's barely any saw marks in them. So that's this order. So I'm going to get these boards all dusted off. See what I got left here to cut. What do I have left here? I have a 5.5 by 3 1/4. So if I drop down, it kind of turns it into 2 2x6s. But I never cut nominal dimension lumber. So to cut them into 2x6s, I think I'd rather leave it in the beam. To cut later, it doesn't make any sense to me unless I cut it. I can't cut it into a 4x4. I could cut it doesn't make any sense to cut it in 2x5.5. So I think for the sake of people coming and wanting things, I will leave that, especially if he wants more. If he comes back for the 50, then I can use that. I actually could use the balance of that log too. So I think I'm going to leave this in beam form, put this in my beam pile, take all these off, shoot him a text, tell him that his stuff's ready. I'm just going to scrape off both sides, stack them up on the 2x4s on the outside so we can get at them. And we'll call this a video. So what did we learn? We learned that right now the roller guides are working great. To make that full width cut with a 7-degree band, that one, like a 24-inch wide cut ish. When I drop down the 5.5 in oak with the 7-degree band and have it come out perfectly smooth and perfectly flat, those guides they're running well. It has no problem with me going at it fast. The inconsistencies I saw the other day, I believe, were that band got dull. And I think that's what cost me, because this cut out great. I can't even feel the band going through the wood. I mean, I can go as fast as I want. So I think that's what we learned. Also, we learned that doing just a face grind with the chainsaw rock works pessa. So if you don't have all the money to go out and get yourself a big dollar grinder set up to sharpen bands, that's the way to go. So even if you can't set them, bands that haven't hit anything, when you can just do a quick little face grind on them to freshen them up like I did with that band, I mean, it just worked awesome. Right through oak like nothing. Even at 7 degrees, which isn't the greatest oak angle. I understand that, a lot of this, I'm cutting through this little 5.5 cant, but on those big cuts, I wasn't. It cut great. So right now, mill, guides, everything seems to be operating pretty well. Good enough to cut basically finished lumber for a deck floor. Where I don't know if this guy has the capability of what his capability is for sanding and stuff like that. I assume he doesn't have a planer, but these don't even need to be sanded really. They just go right in. I mean, I'd run a quarter round on them and clean them off, but I don't think he even needs to. So that's it for now, and hope that wasn't crazy painful. We didn't hit any metal. And I am going to get all this off, and then I'm going to get that other log back up here and see if we can deal with the metal and see if we can get some more stuff out of that log. I could really use some 4x4s and 6x6s out of that red oak for my shed. And there's Danny just sleeping away. He's loving it. Laying in the shade. Of course, he doesn't go in the truck in his dog bed. But for now, appreciate the watch, and this is Pirate Solutions out.